Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This lovely Saturday morning. We're getting set for our big surf fishing extravaganza today at 11 o'clock. If you're not doing anything, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., we'll be right here in Surfside, California. Drive down Pacific Coast Highway to Anderson and PCH. You'll see a tower up there. You're going to walk out on the beach, hang a right, walk down 10 minutes, and you'll find all of us, the Friedman Adventures family, having a great time. Paulina, my co-host in Mexico, is up here with her lovely mother, Berenice, and they are going to be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. And by the looks of it, perfect conditions for surf fishing. Also, don't forget, down at Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway, they've got 10% off of everything in the store for you here today. Just go in, mention Friedman Adventures, and if they don't throw you out of the store, they will give you that 10% discount. 11 a.m. We'll see you right here. Boy, we've got a lot to talk about. I mean, there's some great fishing south of the border. What is going on out there on Tanner and Cortez? Has that weather finally come down? A wonderful event yesterday on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing as the Friedman Adventures family welcomed Paulina from Mexico to the United States, and they went out for a wonderful day's fishing. I've heard from so many people on that trip, and of course we'll watch the islands, the surf. We'll see what these guys are catching back behind us here and see how that all goes. We're going to watch it all for you. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, is that good? And I wish those guys the best of luck, as I do to each and every one of you who are going to be out fishing. Hit that like button. That means a lot to us. If you share these videos, that is huge. Also, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell because you'll be notified when there's new content. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We appreciate all the follows there also. Hey, I just want to take one moment to thank somebody really special to the Friedman Adventures family. He is an awesome person, and I'm talking about Doug Tilk. Doug, good morning or good afternoon. Not sure when you're watching this, but we can't thank Doug enough. Doug took care of all the expenses on board the Island Spirit yesterday. He is a kind, generous soul who does so much for the Friedman Adventures family. When I told him that Paulina was coming up from Mexico, he said, we're going to make this really special for her and her mom. We're going to welcome them in. We're going to provide the entire Island Spirit for folks out there who have done so much for the Friedman Adventures family. And Doug, this is not the first time he has helped out. He helped out with our Christmas party. He's helped out with so many other things. He's brought joy into so many lives. And Doug, I just want to take this moment. I know it's not enough. Words just do not suffice. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of so many who you have helped. I want to thank you so very much. And hopefully we'll see Doug down here at 11 a.m. so I can give him a big hug. He usually, when I try to give him a hug, runs in the other direction, but I'll corner him this time and see if I can't do that. All right, let's get into it. Man, I got to tell you, there's some great fishing going on south of the border. Down at Cedros, excellent yellowtail action continued. The Bay of LA has been fabulous with Dorado and Yellowtail and Cabrilla and so much more. And then up there in Ensenada, we're dealing with some windy weather offshore, but they've been getting hit by the bluefin tuna. Offshore, there's been some excellent bluefin tuna fishing on 10 to 40 pound bluefin tuna, sometimes a little bigger than that, but most of it's in that size range. Trolled Mad Mac lures have been working well. I've seen guys catching bluefin down there on the surface iron. I've also seen it on those small dart jigs, Daiwa Sacanas, 120 grams. It has been spectacular bluefin tuna fishing in 71 to 72 degree water, about 10 miles outside of Todos Santos Island. So not very far from Ensenada at all. And several of the guys are getting in on it down there. Baja fishing, Diego Puentes, they've been all over it. My friends out there on Punta Banda, Blackfin Sport Fishing, Marta Sport Fishing, and several other operators out of Ensenada. Combined together, those guys are doing such a great job. Their customer service is excellent. Their fishing knowledge superior. And they always put in a hard day's work for you. Now, inshore, you can find some really good yellowtail action. There's sand and calico bass, flurries of barracuda, and of course the omnipresent rockfish to provide excellent table fare for each and every one of you. Ensenada biting really, really well. Hopefully that is going to continue because we like what we're seeing. Let's go to the long range scene. Boats running 7 and 8 day trips out of San Diego have been scoring on some of the best long range summertime fishing I've seen in a long, long time. The Royal Polaris with a great day of wahoo fishing and some yellowtail yesterday. Not wide open, but decent who fishing. The skins were biting pretty darn well this morning. They are on the beach trying to catch more yellowtail, and they for sure were going to encounter probably some really good calico bass fishing, and of course, sheephead and that kind of stuff, but maybe even a white sea bass bite. I'm thinking the RP might get in on that this morning. The Red Rooster 3 was down on the ridge where they encountered great weather and wide open yellowfin tuna fishing. It has been spectacular on the 50 to 80 pound YFT. They had some yellowtail mixed in with it. Now, the Royal Polaris was off in another zone fishing that wahoo. So depending upon what you want to do, they've already got their fill of yellowfin tuna. But depending on what you want to do, you can fish different zones. You can fish for the wahoo one day. You can try to focus on yellowtail, although part of the problem has been that yellowfin tuna pushes the yellows out of the way. Or you can focus in on that yellowfin tuna. Or you can go in on the beach as the Royal Polaris is doing this morning. It's just been fantastic fishing, and it just seems to continue. So great long-range fishing out of San Diego right now. 11 a.m. right here on this beach. Paulina, her mom, Michael Limon, a whole bunch of other Friedman Adventures family members. Doug Tilk, I hope. It should be a great day. It's beautiful here as more and more surf fishermen are headed down this way. So really great stuff going on. I'll tell you that. Maybe going down to the jetty. Remember, just drive down to Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway, and you'll be able to join us. Walk out on the beach, hang a right, walk down about 10 minutes, and here you are. Let's talk about Tanner and Cortez Bank, the Highliner, just rolling up on the zone right now. Max is definitely fishable, breezy. Conditions have been the rule. The bite out there has been kind of scratchy. Sometimes you can get up to limits. The Pegasus just got back in with limits of bluefin tuna. That 10 to 40 pound fish on Tanner and Cortez has been wide open if you look back about a week ago. But when we came into the full moon period, we had some breezy conditions and it became very scratchy. Some guys have some decent scores, some guys have some very poor scores, and some guys put a hurt on that bluefin tuna. Fly line, sardine working pretty darn well out there with that 25 pound fluorocarbon, 10 to 40 pound fish. That is out there on Tanner and Cortez. There's also some really good yellowtail action at times. Now, remember, however, we are dealing with this very breezy weather, so it's hit and miss. A lot of misses, some hits. That has been the situation. We'll watch the Highliner all day long and see how they do today. Good morning, my friend. Best of luck to you. All right, some really great people down here fishing the surf, and we are hoping that they put a hurt on the fish. I see some guys setting up right over here right now. Hopefully they're going to catch some fish also. So out there, Tanner Cortez, you can come up with some good hits. The Pacific Dawn 2.5 day trip, 30 bluefin, big one went 170 pounds. The Amigo on a 2-day trip. I believe Rick Russell ran that trip. Rick, good to see you up here, my friend. He had 32 bluefin, 4 yellowtail, Ranger 85, 24 anglers, a day and a half trip with 34 bluefin tuna. And the Apollo on a 2-day trip, 157 on the yellowtail, focusing in on that forky. Some of that is dropper loop fishing. Some of it is fly line fishing. Some of it is yo-yo iron and surface iron fish. What a trip on the Apollo. Don't forget, in late September, we've got a couple of openings on a 2-day trip on the Apollo out of Seaforth. You're going to want to join us. I'm telling you, limited to only 21 anglers. Going to be a great trip. Send me a text if you want to join us. 657-227-6450. 5.9. So that gives you an indication of what's going out there on the banks. Now you can focus on the bigger fish toward San Clemente Island, find a little bit better seas, not as windy in there, and that fishing on that big fish is very hit and miss. But sometimes you'll get up in the double digits, rarely, but sometimes you'll get up on the double digits on that big fish, up over 100 pounds. Kite fishing, fly line fishing, and some nighttime fishing, but it's been snotty at night and very difficult, 500-gram jigs at least, and it's been pretty poor conditions to pull that off. All right, some really good potential, however. We just need this wind to get out of the pictures. Guys are seeing that fish. It hasn't gone anywhere. I think it's going to bite full speed when we come off this moon phase and get some decent weather. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully that's going to occur here very soon. Looks like breezy conditions for a few more days. Let's talk islands, and we have got to go to the Coronado Islands because, man, that bite has been phenomenal this year. Wide open yellowtail at times, picky yellowtail at other times. Overall, consistent, steady yellow fishing. A fly line bait is your best tool right now. Fly line is sardine, 25-pound fluorocarbon. Sometimes you can bump it up when the intensity of the bite goes up and do really, really well. On board the San Diego yesterday, how about 104 on the yellowtail and 2 bluefin tuna on a Dave McAdams trip. Now, I was down at the Bart Hall show, pardon me, at Del Mar, and I met this gentleman named Will, and he said, "Hey, Phil, my son Joshua is such a fan of yours, and my other kids watch it once in a while when they're forced to also." Talking about the morning briefing. And so I got to meet Joshua, and I got to meet his whole family. Really, really a lovely family, great people. So Will sends me this message, and he says, guess what? Joshua is a pinhead on the San Diego, 1 day a week on the weekends. Of course, the kids got school, but you know, Captain Matt and Captain Ryan and the crew, they've been such great mentors. They're such good people, and they've helped Joshua through. And he got to gaff a nice big yellowtail on this trip yesterday. He is working so hard, learning so much, and doing so well. It was so great to have met Will and his family. And Joshua, I want to salute you this morning on the hard work and great job you are doing with such a fantastic crew like the San Diego. 104 yellows yesterday. Joshua putting the gaff in one of those fish and doing such a great job. Hard-working kid who's learning a lot thanks to the crew of the San Diego and some great parenting. Also, good morning and great job out there. Liberty, 43 guys, 53 yellowtail. Mission Bell's been red hot this year, 20 guys, 47 yellowtail, and 1 bluefin tuna. You can't beat the Coronado Islands right now. San Clemente Island, if you fish the island itself, some really good calico bass fishing, a few yellowtail, and even a few white sea bass in the squid grounds. Catalina Island, whoa, cat's starting to bite. Some really great bonito fishing going on. Calico bass fishing, not bad at all. The Pursuit, wide open bonito yesterday, and some good calico bass fishing. El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing has been having great calico bass fishing, especially, they tell me, if you drop that fluoro down to 15-pound and fish with a good hot bait. You're playing a dangerous game sometimes because there are yellowtail wandering around, and if you hook them on the 15, you got your hands full. But most of the time, you're just going to catch way more calico bass by doing that. Keep that in mind. I think the native son fished over there, although they may have been local, but they had great bonito fishing and calico bass out of 22nd Street Landing. Also some good fishing. Up there in the Channel Islands, we see a little bit of barracuda and calico bass, but the whitefish and the rockfish have been the name of the game. And it certainly was the name of the game for that great Friedman Adventures charter yesterday. Thanks to Doug Tilk. Thanks to the great people at Ventura Sport Fishing. And thanks to each and every one of you who showed up. I was supposed to be on that trip, but we had a false baby alarm. My son Philip is about to have a baby with his beautiful wife Jessica, and we had a false alarm. So I'm still standing by, waiting to see what's going to happen. But the guys on board, Nick Ramirez, I'm not even going to start naming names. Everybody on board had a great time, sent me such lovely messages. Once again, Doug Tilt made that all a possibility, and it just sounded like a fun trip. And of course, we were celebrating Paulina, my co-host from Mexico, being here. It was her first trip on a big boat. She fishes pongas all the time, and she absolutely had a great time. She was really tired though. Mackie drove her back from Ventura to her hotel, which is right across the street here, and she said, "Poor Mackie, I slept all the way back. I couldn't stay awake." So Paulina's getting her beauty rest right now, and then she'll be here on this beach at 11 a.m. Great trip, lots of fun, memories made once again, and that's been the rule up there in the Channel Islands right now. Port San Luis, the private boaters out of there up north with some decent halibut fishing, a lot of lings and rockfish. The new Huck Finn out of San Francisco Bay putting a herd on the lingcod, limiting out on lingcod in very short and quick order. It's been fantastic up there for that, so you can't beat it. Along our coast, we continue to see some really great calico bass fishing. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Don't forget, if you want to go to Catalina Island, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Get on the El Patron, limited load, great boat, wonderful crew, fishing Catalina Island and doing fantastic work as the sun comes out and warms my little body up with that beautiful Eastern Pacific back there that we'll be fishing at 11 a.m. A little bit of a breeze, but not bad at all. And also, the Island Spirit awaits you tomorrow. Kids fish free on the Island Spirit. It's going to be a beautiful day. They may sell out on that one. They usually do. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Excuse me. Get on the Island Spirit by calling 805 676 3474. That makes all the difference in the world to get your reservation, or you can just go online, venturasportfishing.com, and get on one of our favorite rigs anywhere, Captain Daniel Hottaway and a great crew, the Island Spirit. Ventura Sport Fishing, so much fun. Great calico bass fishing down there. We continue to see it as we are watching the San Diego area. There's some sea bass and yellowtail mixed in with it. No big numbers on those exotics, but you get a little sprinkling of that on a regular basis. The calico bass bite's been excellent. The sand bass bite, also good. Little scratch here up there at Oceanside and Dana Point, but still some calico bass. Sometimes really good on the short bass. And up here, is this our late season? Because the bass bite is on here in the Long Beach, San Pedro area. The Monte Carlo half-day boat at a 22nd Street landing. Good calico bass fishing yesterday. And along with it, some good sculpin. So you're going home with some fine eating fish, no doubt about it. The Victory, 35 anglers, 123 calico bass and 30 on the sand bass. Danny Jackson, so many of you know Danny. He's a beloved figure in the sport fishing industry, out on a private boat with the Freedom Boat Club, cranking on that calico bass. So really, really good stuff. And other local guys, private boaters as well as sport fishing guys out of Long Beach and San Pedro, doing a number on the bass right now. It has been spectacular. And it's been going on now for a few days in a row. So hopefully that's going to continue. Lovely conditions, as you can see back behind me. It looks absolutely beautiful for that kind of a bite out there. Marina del Rey, couple bass here and there, mostly sculpin and rockfish and whitefish. Same thing out of Redondo and Channel Islands we kind of have under control. In the surf here, we'll see what these guys, man, they're setting up and they are ready to go. Oh, is that fish? That might be fish this morning. I think he's getting ready to hammer some nice fish here. Fish is going to catch some fish. Anyway, I digress. Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all your bait needs, and we're about a mile south of them. Okay, that's where we're going to be at 11 a.m. Corvina have been biting in here. We've also seen some pretty darn good fishing with regard to yellowfin croaker. There's been a few halibut taken in here. And my buddy Fish over here, he just took over, well, not just, but he took over Worm King Lures. So he's got some great baits for you and so much more. Anyway, some pretty good surf fishing. We'll be here at 11 a.m. Paulina is going to show up, and it should be a lot of fun here in the Southern California surf. You're definitely going to want to pick up some, hey, what the heck is going on? Where have you been hiding all these years? Oh, man, it's so good to see you. Likewise. Hey, get over here. Say good morning to everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
I was just talking about Worm King baits, man.
Oh, thank you.
And kicking butt. Have you caught anything? You've been here 30 seconds.
Well, I just got here. We setting up right now, so
I
we're gonna
know.
try and see
Good
what we
luck.
catch out here.
I'm going to run up and do my editing and everything. Then I'll be back.
Yeah,
11 a.m. We got that event here.
yeah, that's why I'm here.
All right. Give me a kiss. No, no. Good to see you,
That's why
Fish.
I'm here. That's why
I
I'm here.
know. I know.
That's why I text you. I was like, I'm coming home
I
down.
love it, man. It's good to see you.
Likewise, man. That's why I'm here to check you out, man.
You're the man. All right. That's Fish, Worm King Lures. And he's an extraordinarily blessed surf fisherman. He's really, really good at this. So we'll see if he can't come up with some fish. That should be a lot of fun. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. It's a beautiful day. Paulina's going to be here in a little bit. I'm so blessed to have her as my co-host when I am down in Mexico. She's a really, really wonderful person. Her mom, her whole family, really, really good times with them. And we'll be celebrating down here at 11 a.m. If you don't even want to surf fish, you want to bring down a lawn chair and look at that. I mean, how can you beat that? Watch some people catch some fish and maybe bring down some donuts and coffee and enjoy yourself. Or if you're like me, my donuts are made out of steak or hamburger because I'm on the carnivore diet, as you know. Well, whatever the case, if you could join us, it'd be great. One more time, Doug Tilt, a remarkable human being. This rock that's floating through the universe that we call Earth is blessed to have Doug as a part of it, as it is to have so many of you. Have a great and beautiful Saturday morning, and I hope to see you really, really soon.